Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me
Do me a
feel
favor, hit
like
that thumbs up
this.
button, please. As you guys come in, please hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care. On the day we are together again. On the day we are together again. I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again, we will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table again. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand when we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among message that survives somehow. I will write you a letter for now. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet. I will help the strangers I meet. To the healers who keep us alive. To the healers who keep us alive. A toast to your courage, knowledge and light. To the healers who keep us alive. And the ones we love who are gone. And the ones we love who are gone. We remember the stories and we sing the songs for the ones we love who are gone. And on the day we are together.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. It's good to see you all. Today is January 26, 2024. Hi. Hello. I took about 48 hours or so off for just a little break, just a little mini break. Uh, it was just getting a little much. You know what I mean? Last week, or maybe it was this week. It was this week was crazy. It was, crazy. There's in true crime, you're constantly researching. Oh my God, SL. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome to the new members. Welcome to the Justin for All family. Welcome to the Justin for All family. Thank you so much. If you was one of the 5 that received the membership, please give SL a big thank you. And oh my goodness, Amy, thank you so much. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. JB's mama, thank you so much for your support. Means so much. 6 months. I don't know where my okay, there it goes. I think I need to add that. Boo sheet. Hello. I felt like Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello, dear. You know when she comes up with the pie, Robin Williams. Hello, dear. Yeah, that's me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, I did kind of take like 48 hours off. I feel better. It was a lot. Talking with, these some of these people drain you. They're just energy vampires. You know what I mean? They're just kind of energy vampires. Chris, oh my God, thank you for 9 months. Appreciate you so much. Really, truthfully. Thank you all. You guys are amazing. I do the voice well, don't I? Hello, dear. Hello. um, yeah. Talking with Stacy, you just feel I don't know, like I like positive people, you know what I mean? But you got to talk to some of these scumbags sometimes, and it's just that's it, Darzilla. Thank you so much for 5 months, dear. Thank you so much. Hey, Purple, good to see you. Draining, yeah. And then, the pictures and all of that, it was just, like, crazy. Yeah, you just feel nice, Marie. No, you feel just kinda dirty when you're talking to, like, people like Stacy, you know? You just do, or at least I do. Um, just knowing that, in my opinion, he absolutely knows if you knew Michael was in your backyard, and I don't believe for a second that that was a lie. Don't believe it for a freaking second. Thank you, November. Love you too. And then, you're seen on Arizona and 8th Street right about the time Monkey goes missing. No, was born at night, but not last night. Not last night. Um, Stacy does believe. One second, one second, one second. Sorry. Stacy does believe that, and he's told us, he does believe he will get arrested again. He says, I do think I'm going to get arrested again, although he says, I know I didn't do anything. So he's been out since November. It's the end of January now. But he knows an arrest is coming. The prosecutors hasn't made, they've said they did a piece right before, or either right before or right when Stacy was getting out. They said that they expect to charge people in this case. Now, there is 4, at least, in my opinion, at least 3 at the very minimum, who know where Monkey Michael Vaughan is. Now, when, not if, when they are charged, are they going to tell us where he is? I pray so much for that. And I ask that you guys to pray. If you pray, send good vibes, that Brandy, Tyler, the Vaughn family can bring their child home. 900, what is it? 904 days today. 904 days. The intro, January is this month is my year 2 on YouTube. And Monkey has been missing since before I started my YouTube channel. I've followed it since literally day 1. And just thinking about um Sicilian, 16 months, my dear. Thank you so much. I love you. 911 days. I thought it was 904 days. I apologize. Uh I didn't even check my email. I didn't even check my email. 913 days. Okay. I was thinking 900. So thank you, Vandy. You certainly know. But just, I've said this before and I'll say it and keep saying it. When your kid has a cold, you worry about them. You worry about them. They got the flu, you worry about them. But Brandy and Tyler, I don't know. I talked to Brandy quite a bit, and she's she inspires me. Um, she has this mama bear, you know, and I think of life is hard sometimes, right? It's hard for all of us, every single one of us sometimes. But then there are things in our lives that is, some have greater trials, I guess, than others. And I think about Brandy, the sleepless nights. Just, I know, have to be sleepless at times. And then the sun rises and you got to get up and you still have to be a mom. You still have, you know, to tend to the family and you have to work and you have to do it all still. That is that is strength. That is strength, to say the very, very least. Um so yeah, our hearts go out to Brandy, Tyler, and the Vaughan family and the Fruitland Police Department and all of the dispatchers. Yeah, that girl. Yeah. She really is. She really is. So, I wanted to go over an interview that Brandy did with Chris McDonough, our friend Chris McDonough from the interview room. Um and go over some of like the timelines and uh maps, maybe even over some of the interviews that we did the other day. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see about that. Um, and nobody can tell you better of what happened on July 27th, 2021 than Brandy. Nobody. Brandy and Tyler, of course. Brandy B, thank you for celebrating 1 month, my dear. Thank you. I appreciate you. Such a sweetheart. Thank you. So, I wanted to go over that, and then we're going to look at some maps and all of that. We'll go from there. Hello, dogs with jobs. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a moment. Good to see you. Um, I was pausing this, and I love this picture right here. You know how you just catch a good screen? I love that with Chris and Brandy. There's that's just like the perfect uh shot. You know what I mean? They're just like smiling. So, oh, True Love has 4 paws. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Oh my God. Thank you so much. guys, if you was one of the 5 that received one of these memberships, please thanks. True love. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the family. Welcome. I just wanted to be in a pair of tights right there. So that's why I did that. You're welcome. You're welcome. Michael looks just like his mom. Yep. Yep. That's what I told Brandy. I was like, you know what? Michael, he just looked like Brandy with a blonde short wig. You know what I mean? They're just literally carbon copies. Literally carbon copies of one another, you know. Yeah, they all favor their mommy. They certainly do. Thank you again. True Love has 4 paws. Very kind of you. Thank you for gifting those memberships. Appreciate it. And I want to thank Chris from the interview room for doing this interview, allowing us to review it. Appreciate you, Chris, so much. And thank you for all that you do. Holy crap, that girl. Oh my God. Thank you for gifting 20 memberships. That is very, very generous of you. And if you was one of the 20 new members, welcome to the Justin for All family. Thank you, very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Welcome to the new members. We will be probably be going to be doing a members live. Vet girl. Hold on. Hold on. Vet girl. Wait a second. Am I seeing something? Did you mean to do that twice, Vet girl? Did you do it twice? Vet girl. Thank you. I get weird when you do that kind of stuff. Thank you so much, Vet girl. That's good. Thank you for gifting 20 more memberships. That is so sweet. So kind of you, Vet girl. So welcome to y'all need to give Vet Girl a huge, huge thank you. That is so generous. So generous. Thank you so much, Vet Girl. She's very generous, yes. Here is Brandy and Chris from the interview room. And Chris has been he has helped in this case more than probably we could understand. And very good friends with Brandy and Tyler and the Vaughan family. So yeah, all of that. So thank you again, Chris. We're gonna play this, and Brandy's gonna talk about, and Chris, about the victimology in this. And yes, it was very much so. All right, let me just stop talking. I get
It's
weird.
typical, right? Us guys, we're like, give me another half making cookies with you. That is but it also showed me how protective you are.
Let me find that where I wanted to start it.
He had Pop-Tarts.
Oh,
he had Pop-Tarts. I remember that much because he had a half-eaten one still on the coffee table when he was laying on the couch.
Okay. Brandy, I can relate. about the kids putting the Pop-Tarts, the half-eaten Pop-Tarts. Can I ever? I think every parent can relate to that. I think absolutely every parent can relate to that. Let me find it.
And his glass of milk, and I said to make sure that he finished it and put the cup in the sink so Buggy didn't get it.
Okay. Okay.
So
business as usual.
yeah.
Okay. Pop-Tarts. And so tell me a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about his personality. Okay. So what would you want the world to know about Monkey?
He's happy. He's amazing. He's kind. He's busy. He's so smart. So smart.
Yeah, tell me to share that.
His how do I say this? His language. His what's the proper word? Excuse me. He's so inquisitive about everything in the world. He wants all the information. He wants, Mama, what's this? Mama, explain this to me. Mama, I want to know.
Yeah, he was even asking questions about not only the amazement of making cookies, but you could just see the inquisitiveness in him, about wanting to get in there and figure it out. What else about him?
He wants to be a part of everything that anybody's doing. He likes to turn wrenches with me. Like, even from when he was, 2 years old, I was fixing a wash machine and he was right there next to me. And I had to figure out, okay, here, I'll give you this wrench, and sitting there, trying to fix stuff with me. He wants the knowledge. He's always, he's so much fun. He just always wants to be a part of everything.
Any engineers in your family? What was your dad in the Navy? Was he an engineer?
He was a jet engine mechanic and a
fixer.
Yeah.
Well, there's that DNA.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just his joy and his happiness and his love is, I don't know how I can explain it, because you feel it. It's I don't care how bad of a day you could possibly be having, but if you're around Monkey, I guarantee that day will be a little bit brighter, no matter how bad the day. I promise.
How does someone take away someone? That is what gets me, especially in child cases, is how does a complete stranger, we should want to help our fellow human beings, our fellow man, so to speak. That goes for women and children and everyone. To be, if they're in a bad situation, there's those people out there, if they see a child that is lost, right? Maybe aren't where they're supposed to be, right? They find them safety. You get them to a safe location and then you figure it out. And then there's opposite of that, of where monsters exist in your neighborhood and mine and everywhere else in the world. And they take what is not theirs. And any life is tragic, but a child who hasn't even started life, it's incomprehensible. At least 3 of them were driving, and they pulled over on Arizona and 9th, 8th, sorry. Right? Show you this. It's a timeline. Right? Here is 8th Street. Here's 8th Street. This is Arizona. This is Arizona. Let me see if I got a better one. Right? This is right up here is 8th Street. This is Arizona. Here's Monkey's home. They said now Stacy says they pulled on up, but it's 164 feet. 164 feet from the Vaughan house. Now, we don't know. I mean, we will probably know. We will know more once we're underway with some arrest. And I'm going to show you the splash pad here shortly, Denise. Let me just go ahead and show you here. All right. So Stacy, Sarah, and Brandon they would be pulling out right here. Stacy, it's interesting. There's a car right there. On the Google Earth that day. Stacy said they pulled somewhere in the middle, right? But he says it's interesting. He says, they're parked right here. They're actually parked more down here. I'm almost certain of it. But even if he is up here, he says that they saw a child about 8 years old, 5, 6, 7 houses down. If you're changing power steering fluid, right? Let me make it bigger for you guys. If you're changing power steering fluid, you just pulled over here, right? And you're halfway down or here on the corner. Are you going to notice? One second, y'all. One second. Sorry about that. So if they pull out here and suddenly they need power steering fluid, here's Monkey's home. They abducted Monkey anywhere from here to here. From where this blue dot is to where the splash pad is. We'll go down. this is the corner where they say that they pulled over. Maybe pulled over up here. I think you would pull over more here. I think it makes more sense to pull over right here. But they say 6 or 7 houses down, while they're changing power steering, putting power steering fluid in, they notice an 8-year-old boy. But it doesn't look nothing like Michael. Says Stacy. But I say bull, psh, that's what I say. Bull, psh, right? Now, Monkey was abducted anywhere from, and we'll know more in court. This is Arizona, South Arizona, right here. This is the main artery to get into both sides of the neighborhood. Brandy's side of the neighborhood, right? And the other side where Stacy and them live is there's another neighborhood here. This is the main artery. Sorry, it changes into winter all of a sudden. But let's see here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that's like 6 houses down. Do you think he could see? Now, could you see all the way back there? No, that's 6 houses. He's full of crap. Now, this is the other entry to get into. So what it does is it, to get into Brandy's house, you can go this way, and then it goes to 9th Street, and then it goes all the way around to Arizona. Makes like a U, right? So Monkey was picked up anywhere from there, where I just showed you guys on South Arizona, or he was walking to the splash pad, trying to maybe get to the splash pad. He's trying to play with this, he's trying to look for friends that day, just trying to see if anyone wants to play. It was 103 degrees outside that day. Hot July day, right? So he might have been, anywhere through here. But the splash pad, let me show you, is right there. Now, this is where the splash pad is. And this is just, a place where, during the summertime, even though there's snow on the ground here, I think it just may look different because of the snow, but there's, a big splash pad. And, it gets hot outside, and they, kids get together and they just have a good time. But he was also, remember, he was seen earlier in the day. He says he came around a curve and his snuff went on the other side. He pulled in somewhere here at the splash pad. I think it was right before it was like about 1 or 1 o'clock-ish or something when he was getting his snuff. They have him on camera. They do have him on camera. I don't know where the camera is and if it's been updated. You know, I don't know when this was taken. But with just, you know, I mean, if he was like, if he was on the sidewalk even here, or if he was on up here, he lives just really, really, a few houses down here. It's tragic. Very tragic. All right, now we're going to continue this interview, and
Yeah.
when
he had
stuff here shortly.
the runway to go, how was he when like you take him, like, or our kids when we take them out in public, and they're that young and they're just, they figured out how to walk, right? When was it that he didn't want to, you put your hand out to try to hold them, and they're like, no, I'm doing this myself, without saying it, right? Of course, 18, 19, 20 months. Is that about the time period? I mean, pretty much normal, like, with your, measuring against your other children, or was he a little bit more rambunctious in terms of, I want to go?
Definitely. Yeah, because I'm putting Buggy right there right now, and we're a little bit past that. So, and she's in that phase. So definitely, I would say about 18, 19 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
And,
I'm going.
and measuring him off now in terms of, his development and his growth. Okay. When did he start to, in your opinion, as mom, kind of figure out that?
SL, thank you so much for gifting one membership. Guys, if you was the one that received that membership, please give SL a big thank you and welcome to the new member. SL, and welcome to the new member. Thank you. Now I'm getting ready to ask you guys a poll question. Please answer that poll question. I'm going to ask, the question is going to be, in your opinion, Stacy says he doesn't think that Brandon and Sarah could have obviously had Monkey that day. He doesn't think that they could have had Monkey that day without him knowing. And I agree with him, actually. I think he does know. I think they all three know, in my opinion. But I want to know your opinion. Do you think it is possible that, or it just, in my opinion, in logic, how does he get out and change power steering fluid from Arizona and 8th, and between there and the splash pad, Monkey was abducted? Oh, single mom gifted a membership? I didn't see that. Oh, I'm so sorry, single mom. Thank you so much, my love. If you was the one who received the membership, please thank single mom. Thank you so much, single mom. Thank you, my love. I'm going to ask that question here shortly. Thank you again, single mom. God bless you, my dear. Appreciate your support. Yours and SL's and everyone's. Thank you. All right. So expect that poll question here just shortly.
That he has a little more independence in his development compared to your other children that you've that you've raised?
Oh goodness. I would say probably about 2.5, honestly. Like a
Okay.
little bit older than his little sister.
Okay.
Just very hence the nickname Monkey.
Yeah, I mean, by no means am I a child development expert or anything like that, but we've raised 4 kids, and I get the fact that kids, every one of them, every one of their personalities is different,
Yes.
and I see them. Some of our kids, all of us do that. They get through this developmental stage, and some go quicker than others, and with his little personality, everything we're seeing and learning about him, I mean, when you watch those videos of him, I mean, they are pure joy. I mean, this little guy is a firecracker,
Yeah, he is.
and the world is lit when he's in the room. I
Mhm.
mean, and I can see those dynamics of brothers and sisters going, well, that's Monkey. Okay. And was that pretty much how it is? And
Yeah,
with,
that's how it
that
is.
little
That
guy?
is how it is. Yes.
Okay.
Monkey's older siblings are like they'll humor him, they'll play, but he has a lot of energy and, well, teenagers.
Yeah. So they're not really playing, they're keeping up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And
okay, we're gonna give mom 5 minutes. Here we go, but no, they love his energy the same,
is he an inside little guy or an outside little guy?
outside.
Okay. In the past, now I know, a lot of the details here, and I'm, stuff we're not gonna, put out on YouTube, right? I
Right.
mean, but what I mean by that is, we know that he was last seen in the neighborhood, right?
Correct.
He was last seen in the neighborhood. Now, this is where we start, you know, learning about July 27th, 2021. Darzilla, welcome. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the Justin Fair family. Thank you, my love. Appreciate that. Hope you like the story here. Welcome. Michael Joseph Vaughan. Amen. Amen. All right.
By 3 separate neighbors in terms of he went up to their houses. Okay.
Correct.
Fruitland Police Department.
Now remember, Michael was looking, it's literally the middle of summer, right? Middle of summer, kids want to play. They want to be outside. Just, especially boys, they want to play in the dirt and play with their friends and play on the bikes and all of that. That's kids. That is kids. So at this point, Michael has been seen by 3 neighbors. 3 neighbors. Now, it was very easy, I'm sure, to clear Brandy and Tyler because A, Brandy was at work. B, Tyler had, he was taking care of the kids. He wasn't seen going anywhere, coming anywhere other than after Michael went missing. You're not really doing anything uh shady if you're ordering a pizza, and changing diapers, right? And also you see Michael outside. They talked to, a couple, 2, 3 different neighbors saw Michael. So, and there was just about literally a 20-minute window, right? So it's very, it wasn't, this is not even close to a Summer Wells, like a Don and Candace type family at all, like at all.
Department has reported over, collecting over 60 video management systems, including some stuff from doorbells and, supermarkets and, gas stations and that kind of stuff in that.
I bet you just about every camera in that city was looked at.
In the general area. Give the public an idea of some of the geographic surroundings of your neighborhood, okay, and why it's so complicated in relationship to um, some of the things going on in this investigation. Help us understand some of those dynamics about just your neighborhood. As an example, you told me about the dirt road that circles around. Explain to the audience and the world, um, some of those dynamics. I don't know if a lot of people understand what exactly the terrain is all about.
So we have a pretty flat land area around our home. We are surrounded by cornfields, sugar beet, and alfalfa. The street that we do live on is, you can enter from 2 different streets, but it is fed in. Our neighborhood is fed in as well as other neighborhoods across the street, but there's one way in and one way out.
Okay.
Now, there are dirt roads. There are farm roads that go through, and the one.
So I showed you guys both ways to get into uh, Brandy's and Tyler or Little Monkey's street, right? Canadian Cookie, thank you so much. Thank you, my love, for gifting 1 membership. He was one of the ones that received the membership. Please thank our beloved Canadian Cookie here. And Kathy S., thank you so much for 5 months of membership. I appreciate y'all so very much. So very much. Thank you. I'll take y'all to a nap here. Moment. All right. So there, something is very interesting about Fruitland. So this is the other street. This is South Washington, and the other one is South Arizona. Now, let's go back. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna go. I want to show you guys. So this is Fruitland, right? This is Fruitland. But scrolling out here, this is the Snake River. Make sure I got the screen big enough. Okay, this is the Snake River. And the Snake River is a very long river. It goes right over a highway, right? 84 goes over it. On half the Snake River is Idaho. But over here, this is Oregon. This is Oregon. So potentially, when Monkey first went missing, he could have been in a different state in literally a matter of 5 minutes or less. And that is even extra anxiety, right? So, being in it's bad enough, a child going missing in one state, but then you live less than 5 minutes from another state. So there's that. Now, Chris is going to explain, and Brandy here, a little bit about like the Snake River and stuff. I
That
just wanted to give
is
you guys a
by our home goes in a circle.
Okay.
So now,
So if somebody comes in, they literally have to go in a circle to come out. Or is
if they
there
were
another?
using that dirt road, if they were if that's the road they chose to use, they would drive in a circle.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Why is that so important to understand from your perspective as mom?
because it would have been noticeable, in my opinion.
Okay.
If somebody decided to take that road, if somebody decided to take that road, it would have been noticeable. They wouldn't have gotten out that way.
So Donna, interesting. Donna says, seems like Stacy is panel hopping now to try to prove his innocence. In my opinion, strange. All of a sudden, he's on these panels. Suddenly weird. Stacy will not be coming on anymore. His attorney, he says, you know, doesn't want him to be on any more panels. And because the things, I mean, he admitted stuff in, our this live that Josh and I did. It sure doesn't make him look very good. That is to say the least.
Okay.
The one road that does feed in and out of the neighborhood. Now,
That's Rusty.
there is a
Shackleford.
cliff
Yes.
that goes down and it leads into other farmland. And there is another dirt road. There has been said, about the Snake River.
Okay.
Which they have searched.
Yep. So Snake River is, for people that don't know, that's a very, infamous river that runs not only through Idaho, goes through Wyoming, and I mean it's a very it's an active river too
Yes.
when the snow melts.
Boo sheet. I mean, I mean, his story and Brandon's story it's almost like it's two different days almost, right? There is hardly nothing the same. Brandon, he's like, yeah, we're going to gas stations. We're doing all of this, that. And Stacy's like, we didn't do that. No, we didn't. So, do you believe any of them? I mean, I believe they're both lying because 4 of them has been named people of interest. Did Sarah ever give a story? Not to the public, no. Nope, not to the public. I do believe that Stacy did tell a lot of truths about what happened that day. However, I think he's leaving the most important part out. Michael. I think he's telling us that he was on the corner of Arizona and 8th Street, right? He's telling us he was there right at the time Monkey went missing. He's leaving Michael out of it though. right? He's saying that they went to Brandon's mom's house. He's admitting that they are not supposed to be at Brandon's mom's house. He's saying there's a duffel bag that Brandon took with him, but it was full of clothes that he wanted to wash an hour, take them an hour away and run them through the washer and then come back the next day and I guess get him out of the dryer at a home that he's not supposed to be at while his mom is gone. He's telling us all the things. He's lying by omission, yes. Telling us all the things, but he's leaving out the most important thing, which is obviously Michael, right? Katie in New Hampshire, thank you so much for 3 months, my love. That is so appreciate you so much. Oh, and Katie, you gifted 1 membership. Oh, thank you, Katie. If you was the one that received a membership, please give Katie a big appreciation, Katie. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Justin Terrell family. Welcome. So, that he does. He says that. And I told Stacy, tow strap or trailer, what time was that? Well, it was supposedly a strap that Sarah wanted to. You know what's interesting? He says the strap broke on the way back. Sarah hit the gas real hard or whatever, and the strap broke. So they had to pull over. They had to pull over. And also, Sarah peed when she had just peed less than 30 minutes prior. Right. No. He is telling us everything. 1 second. So he just needs to tell law enforcement where Monkey is. Now, when he's charged, they may say something, and I pray. Hiding something from Sarah. See, the problem with this, or was that comment? I see when he said it. The problem with this is you can't pull over, put power steering fluid in, and someone kidnap a child, which is Michael Monkey Vaughan, and not know about it. Right? It's just impossible. He's leaving that out. They're leaving that out. But you'll pressure him and be like, well, Stare and Brandon, I don't know. They might know something, is what he says. They may know something. They may have. I don't know, but I know I didn't, is what he says. Well, feels like he's preparing himself to be arrested mentally and publicly. Cassie, it's coming. I don't know when. I don't know where, but I know it's coming. And hopefully sooner than later. Now, who was the brains of this operation, right? Who was the one that decided to take a child that wasn't theirs? Now it's alleged, well, it's not, Stacy says that Sarah wanted a kid, and he says he is infertile, can't make babies, and Brandon and Stacy she was trying to get pregnant. Now, to me, Stacy and Brandon, and especially Sarah, were very impulsive. She was almost, it felt like an extremist. And if she did something, she went to the extreme. If she went to religion, she went extreme. If she went, she wanted a kid, she would go extreme. She would take out the televisions in the house for a few months, right? She would become religious, but also, having sex with multiple men while she's married. So she had this twisted belief system. She rationalized these things in their head to make it fit. Oh, they definitely did. I feel like Sarah's the ringleader too. I feel like Sarah's the ringleader too.
I mean, it can
It's a
be,
very dangerous river.
it's a very dangerous river. So, but what's the distance geographically from your, home? Now the authorities know that he walked out of that house.
Correct.
Okay. Right. Okay. So we know that that's factual.
Yes.
So that said, okay, the river.
Yes, and I just saw a comment. Where was it? Where was it? Okay, I'll just say it. And also the night right after they left to change that power steering fluid, they went to Brandon's mom's house where they weren't supposed to be. The dogs hit at Brandon's mom's house, which I showed you guys Brandon's mom's house the other day. It's great neighborhood, you know, Brandon seems like he comes from, decent people. Uh they seem to be religious as well. They've got like some, like Jesus is the reason for the season kind of signs and stuff outside. They did from what I understand, search their yard with like shovels and stuff. But the dogs hit in her yard. Michael, in my opinion, was taken July 27th, anywhere from 6:40 p.m. to 7 p.m. I think that's mountain time, local time, was driven an hour away to Brandon's mom's house because the dogs hit there. And what happened after that, we have no idea. But, if you're leaving at 6:40, 7 o'clock, and you're not getting back till 10:20, 10:30, it's a 45-minute drive there, 45-minute drive back. Nope.
It was a crucial piece of potential early on in the investigation.
Mhm.
Okay. So how far is that river from your house approximately? And just a guesstimate.
We're talking acres, acres,
Okay. But
and highway.
right. So he's got a lot of obstacles to that he would have to, navigate to
Right.
get down to that water, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just
No,
wanting to
that's
make sure people understood what that terrain is all about.
yeah. The neighborhood, it's a quiet neighborhood. The houses are pretty close together in our specific neighborhood.
Mhm.
Um, like you said, he was seen knocking factual on
Yep.
neighbors' doors. And
And
then
Tyler's there by the right for the record for everybody with
correct.
your other kids. So this isn't just, Mikey's walking out of the house. There's a lot going on in around that time.
Yeah.
And
It was
so
around dinner time, after nap time.
yep.
So I want to show you guys. I'll show you guys Sarah. Trigger warning. This is Sarah. This was her in court a year ago. Now, to me, I'm not going to be respectful to this witch right here. Sorry, not sorry. She looks like she's got the brains of a dehydrated shrimp. She just woman doesn't have a personality to save her life. And you can tell like she's just
1769,
watch
you are
her.
charged with having violated the law in one count. It is alleged that you did on or about the 12th day of November of this year, here in the state of Idaho, fail to notify the coroner of a death, the death of Michael Vaughan, with the intent to prevent the discovery of the manner of death. That is a felony here in the state of Idaho. Do you understand the allegation that's been made against you?
I understand what they've said is not correct.
All right. You have a number of rights when you are charged with a crime. The deputies typically hand out a document that use subpoenas to bring witnesses and evidence to that right, and does speak about the Ms. Wandra, what is your current physical address?
1102 Redmond Street, Footland, Idaho, 82619.
I don't know if she just woke up there or that's just her stuck up ass personality. Don't really care. She just something's wrong with her. I'm just saying. She knows more. I believe she's
And the older kids are there, and Michael, finds his way out of the house. Where is the
yeah, she acts more, but also she, was always on pain pills and stuff when she was outside, not being in jail.
point of exit you guys, the authorities think he made it out? Where the garage door, if I remember right.
So it's really hard to get out the front door,
Okay.
the front exit, and you can hear it.
Okay.
And it has a screen door.
Right.
Typically during the summer,
Yeah, they probably did have her medicated. Wink at me that you say that, because they was trying to get her. You know, the great thing about Idaho is you can't plead insanity. You're, they're going to get you better, or you're, I guess, going to stay in some hospital for the rest of your life. So that was they probably had her on a bunch of.
there are
Regardless.
double Dutch doors in the dining room,
All right, listen to
Okay.
this.
and there's just a latch handle.
Yep.
And leave that on, the curtain drawn, and kids can go in and out that way.
Okay. And it's what's the temperature that day?
103 degrees.
Yeah, it's like hot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No. So, for nobody to have noticed him or hear him, he would have had to gone out that door, which is typical for the kids going in and out, and then gone around through the backyard into the garage and out the side garage door. I say side garage door, not the big garage door, but the other door leading outside the front of the house.
Okay.
Okay, now talking about how I was going to say something. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, that that flyer that was on Sarah and Stacy's refrigerator of Michael. There's a photo. I asked Brandy about that specific flyer. Those flyers were handed out within the first 48 hours of Monkey Michael Vaughan going missing. If that doesn't make chills go down your spine, I can't even. Can't even. They were, wow. Just wow. They got those flyers within the first 48 hours. They said they came back that night and the whole neighborhood was looking for Michael. Remember, Brandon said him and Sarah decided to go out and look for him afterwards. So, let me get this 1 second. We'll get back to that. Elf, thank you so much, my love, for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If he was one of the 5 that received a membership from Elf, please give Elf a big thank you. Thank you, Elf. Welcome to the new 5 members to the Justin for All family. So, Stacy's, the story doesn't make sense about going that evening. You're traveling back. Yeah, of course, it gets dark later, but you're still traveling in the dark at 9:30, 10:30 at night, obviously. And Stacy says Sarah and them was out until about 12:30 looking for Michael. Just complete bullshit. But then the next morning, July 28th, by mid-morning, 10 a.m. or so, Sarah and Brandon are already back at Brandon's mom's house an hour away. Well, then why didn't you guys just wait till July 28th and tow that car mid-morning and do your close then? Which still don't make any sense. Doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense and you can't explain it, something's wrong. Something's real wrong. Real wrong.
So is your backyard fenced in?
Yes, sir.
So that double door goes into the backyard.
Mhm.
And then so he would have had to come around and go through the garage and then go out the side garage door.
Correct.
Okay. And how many times in the past has he done that?
Once.
Okay. And where did you find him?
Grandpa found him halfway
Hmm.
down the street.
Okay.
Mhm.
So he right. So this is important to understand, right? And from his past behavior, okay, is indicative of future behavior, okay, potentially, especially with a little rascal like Monkey here in terms of, he's a thinker.
Mhm.
He's a what I would call somebody who wants to know how things work. And once they figure them out, okay, he was the young man, I would bet, that you put all the door handle, uh, doodads on to prevent the little ones when they're real young.
Yeah, pointless.
Yeah, right. Because he would beat them, right? The
Pointless.
shelf,
Yep.
the doors on the cabinets and the little thing. He'd probably studied it, and correct me if I'm wrong, and figured out, oh, this is how that works. Okay, I'm in.
You had to see it
Okay.
one time.
Exactly.
Especially the cupboards.
Okay. So okay, so that day there's the belief that he goes out the side door, comes around, goes through the garage, and he's out front, which he has done in the past.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So
And that's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah, if Stacy is being truthful that he's the only one that got out, but also they may have got out there. Stacy may have got out there. Brandon and them was waiting in the car, and they actually did see a kid that was Michael on down the street. They put it in the car, and they could have stopped again. They could have stopped at the splash pad again, right? So he could have been the one that got out and got Monkey, absolutely. But he could have also got out. They could have seen Monkey, walking alone on the sidewalk there at the houses or on the corner of Washington or at the splash pad, and they could have pulled over again.
and then there are 3 neighbors that report seeing him, and so he's outside.
Yeah.
He's outside. Okay, so now I want to talk to you a little bit about risk continuum. Okay, and this is what we talked about just a little bit ago. Okay, remember the L that I talked about? Okay,
Mhm.
situation, environment, circumstance, low, medium, high. Okay, because of his age and because of his ability.
I keep pausing it. I'm sorry, but Rach makes a great point here. Hey, no sense whatsoever. Also, ask anyone who has towed, especially with straps, who tows in the dark of night, question mark. My ex-husband was a diesel mechanic, not unless urgent, or call a flatbed daylight. Now, if I recall correctly, let me know, chat, because I may get it wrong. Didn't Brandon say they used like a tow dolly or a flatbed or something like that? in the JLR interview? Did they have a dog with them? They had a dog at their house. I don't know. Brandy is very brave. Yeah, it's against the law a lot of places. Brandon said a flatbed. Yeah, I was thinking something like that. Now, that's a huge discrepancy right there. Brandon said they're using a flatbed. You see how that just shows you don't even, I mean, you guys can't even keep your story straight on what you towed with. Yeah, we towed with a strap. Yeah, we towed with a flatbed or a dolly, a trailer or something, whatever. Oh, I don't believe it either, Lucy Cat. No, I believe they pulled over. Now, hey, Level, good to see you, buddy. Levin, by the way, I'm sorry I have not looked at your email yet. I took a 36 hours off, and I'll get to it. I promise you tonight. I'm so sorry.
Ability to adapt. Okay. Then he's on the medium to high risk part of that continuum. Okay. If he's over here on the low side, that would be more consistent with somebody familiar
Hey, Muscles.
to his house, his environment, those kind of situations. Okay.
Right.
I.e., he disappeared in the house, for an example. Okay. But because he's so monkey, okay,
Mhm.
then that puts him at a higher risk of when he's outside of predatorial behavior, meaning he becomes potentially, more, it becomes closer to an abduction and somebody who sees this as an opportunity to strike. Okay. So there's a higher probability in Monkey's case that he was a victim of opportunity, i.e., potentially abduction. Okay. And that all the statistics, all of the information leads that way. Okay. Now are you comfortable here still? Because I know we talked about this earlier, but I want you just to breathe because I know how hard this is, and I'm so
Breathing.
sorry. Okay. But I want the world to understand that this is important to recognize here. Okay. That the authorities, including the card team, the FBI's card team, they spent a couple of weeks up there with you guys, and all of this information.
Looky there. The FBI card team was up there a couple weeks. Summer Wells, they said there is no sign of an abduction, of a stranger abduction, at least. And they said, sorry. Because that's what they do. They do stranger abductions. Very highly trained and skilled that only Brandy, if you're still in here, if you can comment, if you will, if you want to, if you feel comfortable about any experience that you had with the card team. I'm sure it was wonderful, as a resource, right? uh Obviously not the situation, but just the resource of it. That would be, like to hear your comments if you can. No pressure.
Information has leading the authorities to, evidence of potentially, an abduction here. So that means he, he was taken, okay, off of the street. Okay. And so this is why it's important to squash, craziness on the social media. And I think that's why the chief made a comment about that social media can be very helpful and important. Okay. But it needs to be a clarity of focus. Okay? I'm reading the chief's statement here. And let me see what he says about that. Social media can be a great tool, but sadly can also be a hindrance.
According to Stacy, yes, they were seen. He says he was seen changing the power steering fluid. Now, I believe it was more than that personally, but yes, on 8th in Arizona.
To sharing accurate information. Okay. So if there's a development in this case, the chief says, I will notify you. If the information is on Facebook, social media, and it doesn't come from me or the Fruitland Police Department, it needs to be considered as suspect. Rumor, speculation, innuendo complicate our investigative efforts, and we really appreciate the community support in this. So it goes back to creators being responsible with factual information about what's going on here to help find your little boy. And you have my assurance that this is one platform that will do that. Okay. And so let's go back to okay, we know how potentially he got out of the house. And I say potentially because, I'm not the investigator. Okay.
Right.
They do what they do. Okay. Now he's outside. There are 3 potential contacts. Okay. And now that
SL, I'm Appalachian, so I use words differently sometimes. When I say changing, I meant add. Pardon me. Thank you for clarifying that. We sometimes use just different. We just say things different sometimes. So I mean add, yes. So Brandy did and does continue to do and get the best of the best to help to find Michael. No one is giving up. Brandy is one strong, determined mother to help find her son. Stay strong, Brandy and family. Amen. It's amazing people still out here that, think otherwise. I mean, just the inconsistencies in the 4 stories that we know, let alone what law enforcement knows. You know, these guys have admitted that he said Michael was in the backyard, and they make no bones about it, that he was in the backyard. Not well. That no, not. Let me take that back. Scratch that. Pardon me. That there was human decomp in the backyard, and then he was also said that Stacy was seen on the corner of Arizona and 8th Street. So you live in Georgia and you're from West Virginia. Nobody understands you now. Yeah, I feel you. When I was in Texas for a little while, nobody could understand me half the time either.
puts him how far away from the house where, the direction he was traveling?
Yes, he
Which
does.
direction was he traveling? towards the river or away from the river?
Away from the river.
Okay, away from. So he was going back the other way.
Yes.
Okay, and so there were a couple of cars in play. The authorities haven't released any information about all of that, but other than there was a blue Dodge and a white Honda Pilot. But at some point, they may get into information about those two cars. One of them, you had mentioned, I heard on another channel that it was on Josh's channel, by the way, on the lab. Love that guy. Okay, he's a good guy.
He's
Okay,
very kind.
he's a
Josh is wonderful, and not only is he a wonderful creator, he is a wonderful friend as well. Want to play this for one moment. Fruitland Police Department says they make it clear.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you to our media partners. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the continued coverage of the Michael Vaughan case. I also wanted to begin by just giving my sincere thanks to all the law enforcement agencies, local businesses, and members of the public who helped us over the course of the last year and a half of this intense investigation. More recently, during the last 3 weeks, we could not have completed the work necessary without the selfless help of others. The community support has been absolutely incredible. As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop.
I always pause it there because I think that is so powerful. When Mr. Huff says that you can't take one of the most precious citizens away from us and expect us to stop. I always pause it right there. That is a powerful, powerful message. I literally get teary when I hear that.
During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Sarah Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wandra's home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains.
All. Several. All.
Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard.
There you go.
We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. we did not find Michael's remains.
Michael was not found in that yard. Now, I do believe, in my opinion, this is my opinion, that Stacy was probably trying to get a deal. He thought that Michael was in the backyard. He was in jail at the time. But I think Sarah, Brandon, others moved Michael. That's my opinion. And once they, said that there was evidence of human decomp in the back, well, Stacy's like, I was just lying. I was just saying that because I was pressured. No. Nope, I don't believe it. Chris McDonough from the interview room, he is right behind Mr. Huff right here. You can see him sometimes, but that is from the interview room. He has diligently been on this case.
Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence.
Based on what? Based on what? Hold on, let me replay that again.
Did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughan were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was
What?
based on evidence
Okay.
that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid.
Based on evidence. Not that someone else, that Michael's remains, based on evidence. Evidence is not Stacy telling them. That's the tip. Evidence. Little nuggets that lead you to find that Michael was once back there. Evidence.
And ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wanderer's residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed. Evidence suggests that there are the following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction.
Evidence, not rumor, not opinions, not wishful thinking or unwishful thinking. Evidence.
Of Michael Vaughan. This is Sarah Wandra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Sarah Wandra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. This is Sarah's husband, Stacy Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughan. Stacy.
Firsthand knowledge. Stacy.
He's currently being held in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. Now, the next individuals I'm going to introduce you to, let's go at the bottom there.
Thank you, Dorothy. Justin is, I love your typo, actually. Justin is awesome, people. Please hoe that like button. Y'all, hoe that like button. Hoe it. Oh, God, I'm going to use that more often. Involved. Exactly, Vet Girl. Exactly. Exactly.
This is Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance. And we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota. Adrian Lucien, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance.
What is interesting about Adrian and Brandon is they both look very different in multiple pictures. Like here, Adrian looks much different, in my opinion, based upon when they took that picture at Applebee's on July 27th, 2021, before Michael Vaughan went missing that day. Now, according to Stacy, Adrian was not with them that day. He was supposedly with his family and went to see one of his kids. But he is equally named. So the police have to have evidence that he has firsthand knowledge as well.
And we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian's currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, with conversations taking place with the Payette County Prosecutor's Office about Michael's case and those individuals involved. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wandras, Shirtliff, and Lucien who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction, and I would strongly encourage them to come forward and speak with my detectives.
So he doesn't mince words in this press conference. He does not mince words at all. So there may be, and it seems like, that others may have knowledge. So at the very minimum, 4 people have firsthand knowledge. Monsters. Brandon, he has been living in South Dakota, from what I understand, but TikTok. TikTok. And that goes for Adrian as well. Adrian bounces from Ohio, California, DC, bounces all around. Interesting. Stacy here, he says that Adrian has HT, human king, charges or affiliated or whatever. I don't think I've seen that on his record personally.
When we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation, and I can assure you that we will, all of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. There's a moment in time to do the right thing and bring your information forward and cooperate. And that moment in time is now. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 1,500 tips and leads, and we received many new leads since this phase of the investigation has began. We continue to ask our community for support and patience as we continue to aggressively work this case. We also ask that the Vaughan family's privacy continue to be respected, and we'll continue to post updates as information can be shared. Tips can be sent to findmichael@fruitland.org or to Crime Stoppers at 343cops.com or the Fruitland Police Department at 208-452-3110. Tipsters can remain anonymous.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw that. But
So before I open it up for questions, I just want to make it clear that this is a very active and ongoing investigation. It's super important that we maintain the integrity of this investigation. So I'd ask you that you'd please tailor your questions accordingly. With that, I'll.
So that is, people's ask, why is he out of jail? Well, the grand jury has to meet. And you never know when that's going to be. Could be next week, next month, soon, I'm sure. Yeah, I knew he had that, but what church is Brandon's mom in? I don't know. To be honest with you, don't know what church she's in. They were holding him on charges for GUNS. He's got a couple federal charges. So
Stand for a few questions.
it's coming.
Alec?
Even Stacy said he knows it's coming. Yep.
So if Michael's remains are not found, will Sarah have to be released, or do you think that she will remain in jail once you locate the other people that you think are involved?
It is my belief that she will remain in custody. But again, we're in talks with the Fayette County prosecutor, and those talks are ongoing as far as charging.
And you can't speak to any additional evidence that was found in the house, like you said, you can't.
I cannot. Again, I just don't want to jeopardize the integrity of this investigation. Leslie?
Stacey Wondra is listed as an inmate in Washington County Jail, but he's not on the Idaho court records because it's currently like federal hold. Are there any other charges aside from hers that have been filed in relation to this?
Not that I'm aware of. Not at this point. Go ahead.
What was different about the tip you received in this case after, 1,500 tips over the last almost year and a half? What led to the arrest and the search? Can you share any more about what led you to that home?
I don't want to get into to the details on that, but I can assure you that the tip that we received was credible. I also released that in an earlier statement that it came from one of the occupants of the home, which led to that. Yes.
I'm sure that you guys, and
That occupant was Stacy. That occupant was Stacy. And then after the tip, they got a search warrant. They got the cadaver dogs. They got the ground penetrating sonar, all of that. And all showed, all the dogs said, not said, but hit all of them, every single one. Based on evidence, remember, based on evidence. Also, Stacy was on the phone with the police and on video, they were showing him around. Stacy told them, where to dig and all of that, where they thought.
in your investigation are following social media pages, which a lot of us have looked at. And one of them indicates a trip out of state taken within the time frame. I mean, without hampering the investigation.
Yes, they did go out of state. They certainly did go out of state. Now, remember, they owned a taxi business and they would do, transportation for dogs or, long journeys. So they went out of state as well afterwards. We're going to cover that soon in another live. So stay tuned for that. But they did go out of state.
Investigation, you guys are at least aware of that trip taken to get a dog?
We are currently aware of a lot. And so I would tell you that you just need to trust us and trust.
They're currently aware of a lot. Trust them.
In this investigation. We're making tremendous progress. We're comfortable with where we're at. I appreciate that question.
So Sarah Wilder didn't pass her mental evaluation for when they were in hearing and things. Do you think this affects the investigation at all, considering that to be the case?
I do not at this point.
Macy, I'm so sorry. I missed your chat earlier. I apologize, honey. Thank you so much for that. That is so kind of you. Thank you, my love. Appreciate it. Let's see.
Oh, we got a new charity dono.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Macy. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. Appreciate it, my love.
There have been mentions of a neighbor's yard. Has that been searched in any way or taken into consideration in this investigation?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we'll be deploying ground penetrating radar in the neighbor's yard tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, we can't forget, although they haven't been named or, but the neighbors beside of the Wanderers are registered offenders, right? It's not very good. Not very good, right? So, first time in chat. Hey, J-Lo, too. Thank you so much, my love. Welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Grab a beverage. And let's talk true crime. Thank you so much, my dear.
got a new charity dono.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. The neighbor. The neighbor cooperated from the jump. That is true, but it is well, and that's true too, Queen. There's a lot. There's a lot. But you know what the sad thing is there's more that's unregistered than registered. Right? That's never been caught. That's the crazy thing.
So we haven't done that yet, but we will. That's on the agenda for tomorrow. So thank you.
Aside from just living with the Wanders, do we know what the relationship of the two men you named were? How are they connected with the Wanders?
You know, I'm not, this is ongoing. I'm not going to get into the semantics and dynamics of the relationship there. Alex?
A lot of neighbors spoke to us about a scooter that maybe you guys were looking for. Can you speak to anything about, like, you had found a scooter, if that was related, or if that's something that you were possibly looking for at the Wonders residence at all?
You know, again, that's evidentiary in nature, and I'm not going to speak to that at this point. So.
You mentioned the other property that's going to be starting to be searched tomorrow. Are there warrants for any other properties besides that are going to be sought out?
You know, not at this point, but, you know, through the course of this investigation, I believe that there are other locations that we will definitely be searching.
So they've got, you know, the search for, Michael is still on, obviously. They're not going to stop until Michael is absolutely found. And I absolutely believe that. All right, now we're going to get back to Brandy and Chris. Chris was in that news conference. So thank you, Chris.
He's got a good guy. He's got a good heart. Okay.
Now we're talking about June.
And so that
July
car has
15th,
been
July
pretty much
27th,
eliminated, correct? The blue Dodge.
Blue Dodge Avenger, yes.
Okay, and we'll wait to hear what the authorities say about the white Honda. Okay?
Right.
And those were all from part of that video management grab that they have.
That is a great point. Great point, Mohawk. They, it's these people that live on the fringes of society. They're more of that. They just live on the fringes of society, and they bring in people. They do it under, they say religion or God, they use that, but it's anything but, in my opinion, at least. So, yes, constantly bringing people in, transients. Great. Yes. Yeah. But, they're doing more things with them than just bringing them into their home.
Because the chief said they've grabbed essentially over 60 different video files.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's probably just the tip of the iceberg, to be honest with you. Potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll find out at some point. When you're ready and they tell you, then they tell us, i.e. the world, then we'll know.
Right.
Okay. So he's headed that way, which puts him at that, that potentially targeted situation there where he's an opportunity. So how are you getting through that piece of the puzzle potentially here?
Haley, they said based
what
on
are you doing
evidence, so I'm
to take care of
sure they
one,
found
yourself,
something. They're not
take
going
care
to
of
tell us.
Tyler, and him take care of you and the kids, and just all of the family stuff while doing what you do. How are you doing this?
Take every day, step by step, one foot in front of the other, supporting each other. Just
Thank you for being here, Positive Vibes.
trying to stay strong.
Yeah, and some people, people, they say, "Well, where's the husband?" Well, there's called, my Karen calls it the John Walsh effect. Okay, he's not dodging anybody or anything. Okay, and I want to make that clear for the record for people. Okay, and when John Walsh, when Adam disappeared, remember it was his wife who was the last one with him. And Adam disappeared in 6 seconds. Okay. When O'Toole, who the bad guy was, okay, he was looking for Adam to come out of that, not necessarily knowing he was going to come out of that store, but the security guard kicked him out of that store. And there was the bad guy right there. And the rest is history. But John Walsh kept his wife out of the media because of all of the trauma she was experiencing. And, I know you guys have been talking, and I know he's trying to figure out, other things that what could I have done differently and all the other stuff. So there's a lot of moving parts here behind the scenes, guys, that I want you aware of, so that, we are considerate to this family. Okay. This is a total different scenario than others that we've, been involved in. Okay.
And my opinion, what Chris is saying there, what I'm picking up, what he's putting down, in my opinion, he's talking about the Wells case. Now, with, Adam Walsh, with Michael Vaughan, they were in areas, public, more densely populated areas, which is where kids get abducted. It's just where kids get abducted, sidewalks, parks, malls, that type of instance. Kids don't get abducted in the middle of literally nowhere on a dead end road on top of a hill with adults standing outside, and they're saying someone went inside and then went outside and went down a hill, and no evidence of a stranger abduction in 2 minutes. That doesn't really happen, in my opinion. Is it impossible? Nothing is impossible, but it is highly, 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 highly improbable. And the TBI, and most importantly, in my opinion, the FBI card team, which worked on Monkey Michael Bond's case as well, says there was no evidence of stranger abduction in Summer Wells' case. Now, in Monkey Michael Vaughn's case, they knew very quickly that this was a stranger abduction. They were up there 2 weeks when Monkey went missing. So there's that.
So getting that out there, and I'm glad you let me do that. Okay. I appreciate it, actually. Getting that out there, the authorities are in full 100% mode. You're at work. Walk us through what that scenario, what happens.
I called around 4:00 on my lunch break. Tyler had put Buggy down for a nap, and Monkey was on the couch playing the Switch. They had come inside from playing outside after I left for work.
Front yard or backyard, if you know?
Backyard, always backyard. The front yard is when we go for walks,
Okay.
always supervised.
See, that's critical because that's a couple hours before.
Yeah.
So again, he has this pattern of safety, i.e. backyard. Okay. Go ahead.
It was a quick call. Hey, how's everybody doing? What's going on? What's everybody up to? Did you eat? Mom stuff. All right. I love you. I will see you tonight. I'll be home to tuck you in. Love you too, Mama. Tyler called me at 7:05. I thought it was 7:04.
See the difference? You see the difference in the parents. No, Tyler in the interviews, he knows the times, he knows what he was doing, where he was at, everything. Knows what times the pizza was ordered, right? Not, oh, when I'm trying to have a good time, time just slips away from me. Well, that may be true, but whenever, your child's missing, you kind of comb through everything. What time did you call this person? Well, you find out real damn quick. They worked with everybody. Absolutely everybody. Local law enforcement. Everyone. Marshals. Whoever. Anybody. Card team. All the above. Thank you, Beagle Mom. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you. Thank you. Oops, wrong thing. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Brandy, yeah. Brandy can also tell, yes, how many days. She also knows how many days Summer has been missing. And she's had to actually tell the parents of Summer Moon Utah Wells how many days their daughter has been missing.
Phone records, apparently.
Yep.
Called me at 7:05 p.m. and said he couldn't find Michael. And I was dealing with a customer at the time, and where I work, I'm very hands-on what I do. I kind of blew it off, like, oh, go check in the bedroom underneath the bed back behind the wall. Like,
no fun
hide and
of
seek.
truth, no.
Right.
He
Which
likes
is taught in every police academy. So go ahead.
Kept him on the phone, put my phone in the pocket, dealt with this customer a little bit longer, picked up the phone and said, well, and it just stopped. The world stopped. The fear in Tyler's voice, he was screaming for him, saying he couldn't find him. He couldn't find him anywhere. He wasn't anywhere in the house. He wasn't anywhere in the yard. It was yelling down the street. And a coworker had seen me, and apparently I must have looked like a ghost because I just stopped. It just seemed like the whole world stopped.
Did he say at that point, if you recall, did Tyler say how long he'd been missing up until the time he called you?
No, not at the time. It was just pure panic and fear.
Okay. Had 911 been called yet, if you know?
No, he called me first.
Okay. Tyler called him.
Yes, Tyler called 911.
Okay. And because he's in like full on dad mode, I can't find my boy.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he calls you, which is normal. I can't find, Monkey, i.e., your mom, where would he be? Okay. And you tell him to go search all these other places and nothing.
Nothing.
Then what happened?
I asked a coworker to go get my counterpart, the counterpart, to please tell him I have a family emergency. And I stepped in the office and I just I had Tyler on the phone and I could hear him screaming for Michael, and I could hear him screaming Monkey. I could hear him screaming Michael. And I kind of stood there. I didn't know what to do. And he told me, my coworker, he's like, go. And I kind of snapped to and ran. I grabbed my purse. I ran out the store. I ran to my vehicle and I drove as fast as I could. I wanted to plow through cars that I got stuck at a red light. And when I drove into the neighborhood, there was already a police car at the splash pad at the park. And when I pulled up into our street, I didn't even park in our driveway. I parked in the middle of the street. I didn't even turn the engine off. Grandpa had just gotten home a few minutes before me, and he was in his truck headed out on the dirt road going through the fields, or headed to the fields. Tyler had already been with our other vehicle driving around neighborhoods, down to the splash pad, down to the park.
Now, the older kids are with the younger children, right? I mean, in terms of your daughter, you have a younger daughter, and you have a
Yes.
teenager. So it's not like Tyler left the kids at home with nobody and
No, he didn't leave our 2-year-old to go. No.
Yeah, that's where I'm going here, so that people don't misunderstand what the facts are.
Okay.
Okay. So walk us through now. Grandpa's down going dirt roads, and then what happens? The cops are already looking for him, by the way, when he's at the splash pad. Is that what you're saying?
When Tyler was at the
They
splash pad?
coexist.
No. When you said you passed a cop car at the
Oh yeah,
splash
they were already here.
Yeah.
Like when I got here.
And
Yes.
that was within your 15-minute drive from work approximately?
Yeah.
If that?
Yeah.
Okay, so how that unfolds, right, is when that 911 call comes in, and as soon as Tyler gives a description, then that's put out on the radio, and immediately somebody goes to the house, but the other responding units go into what they call a grid search. Okay. And they start looking.
Grid search is the most common way to look for someone who is missing and or injured.
For areas that children would congregate and or potentially want to play. Okay? And that's probably why he went right to the splash pad. And so that search began almost immediately once that 911 call came in. Would that be accurate?
Yes. And the police station is probably about a block and a half from our home.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is.
So Fruitland Police Station is a block and a half. So as soon as they called, right, they were there. They were there. So you can obviously know someone taking a kid knows where the police station is, I'm sure. They're not going to, be pumping gas as soon as they, kidnap a child. So if Brandon and them actually went to the gas station at some point in the day to get milk and gas or whatever, it was before, in my opinion, they kidnapped Monkey.
Yeah, so they were on the ball quickly.
Yes.
Okay. Then what? So you get home, cops are there already. They're already starting to look. What do you remember? What happens next?
I drive down to the splash pad. I'm screaming like crazy for Michael. I jump out of the Jeep and I'm yelling for Michael. And there were people at the splash pad. And before I could even ask, they were like, "We haven't seen a little boy." I was like, "You haven't seen a blonde-haired, blue-eyed little boy?" Like, no, we haven't.
So that's interesting, right? So if Monkey, let's look at this map real quick. If indeed they were there, we don't know. I don't know, but let's just look at this for a moment. 1 second. Reset to north. Okay. Now, if remember, here is where Monkey, the Vaughns live. Here's where they were changing the power steering fluid, right? This is 165 feet from their backyard to where they was changing the power steering fluid. Now, if here is the splash pad. They said someone, Brandy was already down here. They said they had not seen Michael. Now, if they were there, at the time of Michael's abduction, that means Michael was not in, most likely, this area, right? Not most likely in this area. So Michael, this is my theory anyways, had to be abducted anywhere from this corner to where they were parked. Somewhere right here, in my opinion. Maybe even right here. Right here. But most likely right here. I don't know. My feelings is he got picked up right there. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. But I don't know how to make my cursor bigger. But right here, I need to figure out how to make my cursor bigger. That's a good idea. But this right here is where they were changing. I mean, look how close that is, y'all. Here's Monkey's home, right? Here is where they were changing the power steering fluid. It had to be anywhere from right here where they were changing the power steering fluid to probably this corner right here, because as long as the same people was there the time Brandy got there, or when Michael went missing, 15 to 30 minutes, 45 minutes maximum, then so close, right? So close. Yes, that is exactly right. Got a secret, can you keep it? Stacy said when Sarah was arrested, the Most High God told me that Stacy took Michael. So listen to this. To me, that just ties a bow right on the case. Stacy is in the back, yard telling him where to dig. He's already told him, right? They arrest Sarah. Sarah's over there saying the Most High God told me that Stacy did this, right? Using religion. and then they're seen right on the corner where I just showed you, and then they're on this trip that doesn't make a freaking bit of sense. Boom. Yes, it just she had no idea she was getting arrested. The Most High God told me. Come on, people. Come on now. Get
Told
what
the officers we haven't seen the little boy, and I drove back up into our neighborhood.
I tell you, yeah, Mohawk, she is kind of another Lori Vallow. I don't know something's been in the water in Utah. It's been crazy in Utah. Utah it's an empty state. It's a rather empty state, but there's been a lot of high profile cases in Utah compared to the population. I don't know what's going on.
I had called my daughter because my
Okay.
oldest actually did.
I'm going to answer this, Haley. There's obviously cameras because Stacy admitted that he was seen on Arizona and 8th. To get out of the truck, in my opinion. He's a very big dude. Yeah. Yeah. In my opinion, I don't know. Stacy was over 500 pounds. What did I say? Didn't I say Idaho? What did I say? What did I say? Utah. Sorry. I meant Idaho. Lord have mercy. Yes, Idaho. Idaho, and what was it earlier? The Ho the like button. Oh, guys, we got to find humor somewhere in this. All right, this is very important. What
Did leave.
Randy's talking about here.
A friend picked her up.
Mm-hmm.
But this was like during the ordering dinner type time.
Okay.
I had called her because I was like, "Have you seen Monkey?" And she's like, "No, Mom, I didn't see Monkey." And I needed her home. I needed all of them right where I could have eyes on them at all times. I drove to the end of the 9th. Then there were people everywhere. People asking me, what can we do? What do we do? I drove the vehicle back to our house. I drove the Jeep back to our house. I got out on foot. Apparently, I drove the Jeep to the splash pad. I parked
You
it
don't
there.
remember?
Nope.
Yeah, that trauma, that shock of that event. Okay. I can't tell you how I, not to compare anything, but I can't tell you how I got out of Disneyland when I found out my son passed. I don't remember. Okay, so that makes total sense to me, what you just said. Okay. And but a question I have for you on that to dovetail into what you said is what in your mama's instinct brought you in retrospect now to the splash pad? Why did you head that way right away, if you know? And there's no wrong answer, by the way. Okay.
Because Monkey is a very, very social little boy. He loves people. He just, yeah.
He's that little guy that will curiosity come over and say, "What's that?"
Yep.
Okay.
Or hi, how are you? I'm
Yeah.
Monkey.
Yeah. He'll chat you up for days.
Mm-hmm.
I know those little guys.
Um,
So that was your instinct to go right to where you feel, okay, I know him. I'm headed that way.
yep. And
Okay.
that was actually where Tyler first went to look.
Oh, Tyler went there as well.
Yep.
Okay.
He
That's
is
important
he
information.
yep,
Mhm.
he was seen on this is how I know. Well, the police have seen every which way we went, walking, driving,
I know T loves
Yeah.
Chris and
um,
Claire, and God bless them.
during that time frame.
Anybody who's,
So,
God
Yeah.
forbid, lost a child. God
which has kind of been
forbid.
helpful because I still don't even remember, and that's probably why I should not have been driving.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
Nor Tyler.
this is Mikey. I mean, and Monkey. I mean, you have it's you do what every normal parent does when the worst nightmare potential is in front of them. And early on, you're not thinking, you're just reacting.
Yeah.
And this is what happens, right?
Yes.
You're reacting to, okay, I got to find him. I mean, imagine, right? I mean, it's pure panic, and it's like total fear.
So, if you've ever lost your child for a minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, that gut wrenching, quick anxiety, your stomach hits the floor and then your throat, right? And then this is a panic that doesn't leave. Doesn't leave. That amount of stress. It literally brings tears to my eyes.
And you know, you did what you had to do, and right now and so far you're doing it right, and your job is to continue to just take deep breaths and process this, and it's your job to keep him in the public's eye. Okay. And it's hard,
It really
but
is.
you're doing it. You're doing it. Okay. And I commend you for that. And it's not like something you want to do. It's something you're now in a position that you have to do. Okay. Because if he hears your voice or sees your face in any way, shape, or form, and he's in an environment that, he, whatever, okay, we want him to know that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
And you've been doing a heck of a job doing just that. So you hang on, right? Just keep plowing forward and trust, and not only in God, but trust in yourself and trust in the authorities to let them do what they do. Okay? And you become the voice of reason and the face of Monkey out front. And we keep him out in the world. The world has to come to know this little boy,
Yes, they do.
and they will. Okay? They will. Okay? They're going to come to know him. Okay? And I want them to know personally from, this conversation, what his little spirit's all about. Okay. And then we want to make sure that if anybody has any information about this case, there's the trail going on right there. Find Michael at fruitland.org and call the authorities. Call the authorities at the Fruitland Police Department. I want to make sure I get the right number here. I've got a couple of them, but so I'm going to put this one.
208-642-6006 extension 0.
Okay, hang on for a minute.
You just hear Brandy. She just named off that phone number, didn't she, in the extension? You know why? You know why? Because she talks to them at least at least one time a day. When is the last time Dawn and Candace even called, interviewed, checked on their daughter's case? Wonder when that's been. I talk to Brandy almost every day as well, and trust me, she talks to Fruitland every day. Yeah. Candace, they had to get a car to come get her and throw her in the back of a police car. And she's calling a minor when she's in the back of a police car. Yeah, Grand has vanished.
Yeah,
Total
I'm
difference.
glad. Thank you for doing that. I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna put it on the banner. Okay, that's going by. Stand by. Okay, what's the number again?
208
208
642
642
6006
6006.
extension 0.
Extension what?
0.
Okay.
So Jennifer, that's a good question. What is the motive for taking Monkey, you think, Justin? I really don't want to speculate because I don't know. Now there, it could be a multiple of reasons, or it can be a combination of, any of them. But, it could be child T, right? It could be Stacy or Sarah rather wanted a child. It could be just an opportunity of randomness and they just evil beings doing evil things. It could be other things that I don't even want to mention. I just don't even want to mention them. So we'll just have to wait on that. Boy.
Okay. Extension.
Or if you see him, call 911.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Right? Call 911 immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, student. That is the first thing. Correct. Call 911 immediately. Okay, so now I've just updated this. Okay, 208 642 6006 extension 0. Call 911 if you see him immediately. I'm going to leave this running.
Thank you.
Through this whole conversation. So as people share this across the world and all their social media platforms, this is the information that we want out there. Okay. All right. So you're at the splash, you make it home. And then what do you recall? What happens next?
I called my boss, I think about 8:17. There were already neighbors and community members out looking for him. And she said, okay, what's your address? And I'm going to post it online. And I was supposed to close down that night, and she went and took care of that and was here quite quickly, and we're small communities. It spread like wildfire, and out in the fields, through the parks, everywhere you could possibly think of. There were so many cars, four-wheelers. I think somebody even brought their horse out at one point. Just people were lining the streets. I mean, I don't know if you remember Halloween when you were a kid.
I did.
Okay, multiply that by 100.
Okay. It was
From what I understand, this was, I mean, the neighborhood took notice. Now, remember when Stacy said they got back from being at Brandon's mom's house. Now, remember, this is what, 10:20, 10:30 at night. They left at 6:37 o'clock, 45 minutes or so there. They said that, police were everywhere, people were looking everywhere. I mean, this is small Fruitland. I forget how big Fruitland is. I think it's like 6,000 people. Very, very small town, USA. Everyone, 99% of Fruitland or more probably are, salt of the earth, good human beings. But there's always a few. Doesn't matter where. And, most people would never even think about harming a kid or taking a kid. But these three rolled back into town at 10:30. They knew that they had caused all of that. Think about that for a minute. Stacy, Brandon, Sarah rolls back into town at 10:30 at night. All these police cars, all of this chaos, all of this pain is because of them, in my opinion. Think about that. Rogue, thank you so much for becoming a member, my love. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Yes, Brandy has never referred to monkey as past tense. She has actually, I was listening to an interview that she was doing with, I'll tell you in just a moment, KTVB, and the interviewer used monkey as past tense, and she's like, sir, please. So, yes, coexist. The population of Fruitland is 6,454. When they said small, I most certainly never thought that small. Sounds like the entire town. I mean, I'm telling you, it is. Thank you, Rogue. Hey, Spirit Seeker. Sonia, good to see you. Hey, West. It's tiny. Very, very tiny. Think of that. I can't imagine.
Everybody came. That the Fruitland community sounds like just an amazing area.
It really is.
Yeah. So, and it is, and I know the chief it's hit him pretty hard. He lives in that area with his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're motivated
Yeah.
to and they called in everybody. I mean, I can't believe the amount of 13 law enforcement agencies almost immediately within 24 hours.
Yeah.
The FBI card team showed up. The field office SAC from the FBI, I think Sullivan is his name. The PD. You even had search and rescue teams with multiple dogs
Yes.
from across the United States, even as far as South Carolina. They brought in a specialty dog.
Yes, they did.
It was pretty amazing, and
They literally brought in dogs from everywhere, as far as South Carolina. That is incredible. Thank you so much, Tracy Michael. You're very kind. Because if I could change one thing about myself, it would be my voice. Oh my God. I hate my voice. Hate it. Don't get me started. Ugh. It's like hearing cats mate or something like that. Street cats mate or something. I can't stand my voice.
all of this
I'm thankful, Lord, but I'm just saying.
has impacted not only the community and the world, but at the same time, I know what happens because I've been there. Okay? You as a family are, basically kept in a container. I.e., what I mean by that is, the cops are like, hey, we got to get data here. We got to get information. And there was some discussion about an Amber Alert, and I know that's been kind of a sticking point for a lot of citizens, a lot of people. But at some point, there are decisions that are made that may have wanted to have been made by the investigating agency, but they get overridden through bureaucracy. Okay.
Sure.
So at the end of this, in retrospect, there's going to be a debrief when all of this is over. Okay. And I'm saying that in a very optimistic, positive
When
way.
Michael comes home.
That's correct. Okay. For you and for the community and for little monkey. Okay.
Mhm.
We're not going to give up hope on him. Okay.
Never.
And but what's interesting is what the agency did is because there are so many steps sometimes to Amber Alerts that, if some bureaucrat doesn't feel that the word fits the situation, okay, then they won't push that button.
I agree, Sharon.
Okay.
I agree.
And there's always been this thinking of, well, we don't want to desensitize the community. Okay. So a case agent is left with one other option, and it's what's called an EMA. It's an emergency, missing, endangered missing child. Okay. And that is then pushed to the community, i.e., in law enforcement terms. It's entered into the NCIC, or the National Crime Information Center. And so that basically hits every CAD terminal in every police car in the United States.
I mean, they done a lot. And there's Monkey's Law, which we're going to talk more about that later as well. Guys, I'm almost at 3 hours. I'm going to end it here. I will be back tomorrow. We'll be talking more about that. Oh, thank you so much, Muscles and Mascara. Summer Wells, 955 days since she went missing. Monkey Michael Vaughan, 913 days, too long. These babies have been gone for way too long. Justice for Monkey and Summer. It's way overdue. Hashtag Brandy Strong. I absolutely agree with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, we got a new charity dono.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate each and every single one of your time. Thank you for your support. It's what keeps my channel going. Thank you, members, mods, donators, all of the above. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you for watching. Most of all, thank you for being here for these children and the missing day after day. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. I will see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing. We'll be talking more. We'll be going over Summer Wells' case, going over some new cases as well. Yeah, lots to talk about always. Get some rest. Enjoy your evening. It's the weekend. Hopefully, you get some rest. Good night and God bless. We'll see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Bye bye.